It's mind-boggling, dude. I'm about to boggle some minds with you. Can we just talk about some things I don't think that we understand are going on in the society we live in? We're trying, but we're kidding. Thinking the life that we're all living is just a authentic thing that we're doing. It's actually very sad, and I don't mean to be in a somber kind of attitude delivering these words to you. But I'll tell you something that's true. A lot of people spend their whole life trying to work for someone else. And I mean this in the depth of not just spending their whole life working for somebody else, but spending their whole life working toward working for someone else. And how do you think that helps? I think we need a little bit of a distinction here, a little bit of a separation, and an understanding of what's really going on. Because hear this, working together is great. Helping somebody else build up something that is beneficial is great. But taking your entire life and trying to wait until that date, one day may be. It could be in the spring. It could be in the fall. Or maybe it never happens. But you spend most all your life just trying to find out if it can. Then when it does, you finally get that position you've been working toward. And what percent of people do you think are actually content with that? I'm grateful for the fact that they spent probably more than half of their entire life trying to climb a ladder that they didn't build. This is what gets us killed. And I don't mean some kind of physically dangerous thing. But I mean it's detrimental to the human being. To do some things for the sake of somebody else's company being more important than your well-being. And well-being congratulated and all the accolades just seem to fall on you, and all the things you do to build up somebody else's company must be a little bit good feeling for a minute or two until the afternoon, when it's just another day and you're on another lunch break for somebody else's company that you helped make, that you won't really get much of anything from except for a paycheck at the end of the month. Maybe twice a month or something like that. Something that you try to justify to yourself is okay to do when it was you who gave up on the dreams of all the things that you knew you could help with out of doing it out of your own way of doing it. But instead you gave in a bit. You helped somebody else with a company, but something seemed to be good at the beginning, and then you got into it, and now you're just kind of wondering if you're the one winning, or if you're just kind of putting an effort for somebody else to win. And it really doesn't matter. Either way, who wins or who doesn't. I mean, it really just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I mean, God came to lose. He came to do something that he didn't choose, although he's the one that chose. And that's where you could literally say, God knows. As in, when people question life, like, what's going on? And they're like, well, God only knows. And that's the truth. And what he knows is what he needs for you. Not what he needs you to do for somebody else's company that must be something that at least could bring in a paycheck. You know. And if you want to check when I'm going to get paid next, I have no idea. And I don't care. What I have been, though, is taken care of. And boy, am I grateful. We serve a God who's perfect. I do, at least, and I want everyone to come along with me if you want life to lead to a good place instead of this rat race and you're trying to escape and wishing that you were a little bit bigger than the kitten who's trying to chase you around the living room. And you just feel like you want some living room under somebody's thumb, getting paid once a month. Maybe twice, you know. That's fine, though. Heavy-hearted. I'm a heavy hitter. I walk in there and knock things out of the park by just knocking a vase off a shelf. Turning around and just saying, it happens. And everyone else is just now clapping. Because we don't got to be guilty for things that we didn't mean. Do you see what I mean? Or do you see that I'm mean when I'm really being nice, but I'm just saying some harsh things? But the truth is hard to hide. And really, it's hard for us to hide from the truth. So what are you doing? Working for somebody else's business. I'm not trying to get in your business or nothing. You can do whatever you want. You can live your whole life helping somebody else build up something. And that might be your plan here even. I'm not trying to tell you that I know exactly what you got to be doing as if you got to be believing the words that I'm saying. But I'm just laying out a lot of things here. When I just stand and walk and sit and talk all the time and rhyme through the things that I say and wonder, hey, I just wandered a lot in my life. That's the point. I've wandered a lot in my life. I've wandered and wondered and, I was in the wilderness and I just know that there's a lot more to this. And a lot of people don't understand what's going on in life. And that doesn't mean that I'm the one with all the answers, right? But you can try to just kind of peer into the words I say and see if anything else can help you. Just let loose a little bit, man, and be you. I mean, it's kind of nuts. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Look through the things that I'm saying. Don't look at the words that I am saying as if it's I, Evan Strong, who's laying these tracks out. Now we're on episode 34 of Metronome Madness in the Image Clothing Company music. And this is what I do, kids. I'm just walking around again because I know a lot of people are drowning in a life where they feel like they can't get up off a seat because they're only getting paid not even once or twice a week, but maybe once a month or something. But the whole point is you're putting focus on the money. You're putting focus on the money and you run into something you don't even want to get. You get it, and you feel like you got to get it again. And you'll never get enough of what's not for you. And I'm sure you've heard all the time that it's not about the score on the scoreboard. Fine. It's about playing to have a good time, not playing to win. And y'all begin to just think, I'm just relaying some things that other people are saying so that we can just be a society of these robotic people saying all the things about, oh, we're equal, and there you go. And nobody knows what it really means. Or how to be a good human being. From one guy to the next guy, and nice try, but you lied, and you said a compliment, but you didn't mean the things you said. Yikes. We're all living in this life. We're all here together. There's a storm or two that every one of you and I too and everything and everyone who sings a song and walks along the path that I walk in life, the same type of life I live, we all kid ourselves saying we couldn't get. Because I'm opposing the norm. What am I supposed to be born? Not born. That was something that was not quite my choice in a way at least, but I don't mean to say born, but please, can we stop being boring? Because I'm just pouring my heart out into this. I'm not yelling for no reason. I'm going to yell till my nose is bleeding. If I keep yelling, I mean. I don't know. I'm not trying to speak for the future. But I'm trying to speak for the youth, because you're the next generation of people who are going to make this earth what it was and what it is and what it might be if we can turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and back to the fathers from the children. And I'm not out of breath. I'm not out of words to say. Because till my dying day, I'm going to say the words I say, because I got a lot of truth to relay to the youth again, okay? Every generation, a lot of things that were there in the past just start to kind of decay. We got to bring them up again. We got to kind of till the soil. Do you see what I mean? A lot of things just seem to be more than just a metaphor. And sure, like the seas, we can think that we can just sell some things, an idea of what you think life should be. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care what I think. I don't care if you think I'm starting to sink. Oh, it started out good. It was all emotional and sentimental, and now the kid's mental. He's yelling at people. He's yelling at a wall. He's yelling out here, and all that's there to hear him is the alfalfa in the field. I'm just telling you how I feel. Who's going to listen? Who's going to care? Who's going to, where? No one? All right. Well, that's fine. Because I serve a God who's the all-searching eye. And the reason I stutter over it is because there's a big bird up there in the sky. I'm not joking about a thing or two. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the camera, dude. That's why I stuttered over it. If you can see it, yeah, there he is. Big bird up in the sky. Big bird up in the sky, like God, the all-searching eye. Seeing things from a little bit of a different perspective. When we just let ourselves sit in an office for 8 hours a day, slaving away for somebody else just to say we're doing a good thing, because we just try to bring ourselves to believe. Oh yeah, it's a little bit eccentric, isn't it? I get it. And I get it more than I get it, because I'm saying words that I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. Then I listen back to the rhymes that I spit out of my own mind, out of my own mouth, and now I'm wondering half the time how. Where did this come from? I've got this wisdom, and no, it's not me, son, but it's the Son, the one who is three, the one who's bigger than me, the Trinity, the Holy Spirit of God who lives inside of me, trying to be, portraying everything he can through me. Really trying to get me to be as obedient. That's the thing. There's no trying to God. He just does whatever he wants, and he's not going to stop. He's not going to force us to do things that he needs us to do. Here's a beautiful dog. I'll talk about it a little bit more as it passes, meaning after the fact, if I can learn a little bit more about what it is as I'm passing it. 1 second, thank you.
Okay. Well.
Golden Doodle. Big old standard size. Y'all think I'm lying? Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. I could start singing a song about it. Don't believe me when I'm saying these things, when I'm walking across the street. Y'all thought I just walked around and spoke off tempo because I don't know how to make music. I do it. Hold on, stick around. That's what I'm saying. Don't believe me on a single thing, but see what lines up, and you'll know. Well, I'm talking about the pups. Purebred standard poodles. That's what we'll be doing when the time comes. It's not my timing, son. But again, it's the timing of the sun. Like, no matter what I want, the sun's going to come up when it comes up. And God's got a plan. And, man, I got no kind of say of getting in the way. In the Image Clothing Company poodles. It doesn't take a prophet for God to speak. And if you think that I'm a prophet, well, who is it that ye say that I am? That's a question that I just can't begin to ask myself enough. And I think that we can all ask that self at the... Interesting. I think that we can all ask that self. Can we all ask God, who is the actual self? God is actually who is underneath all the things that we can pile on top and seem to try to get to the ceiling if we could reach. But we're just a child of his. We're just lying if we think that lying down on the ground on this little earth and this little rock in our little town, we can reach the sky again and try to find it where the heights of the eagles fly. Then we run out of oxygen. We get dropped back down and put in our place. Oh, right? I'd say so. But don't believe me. But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't take a prophet to be a human being. Hey, check that out. And God uses anything he uses to speak words through a mouth. And that brings peace of mind. I got some peace in mind. I've got some peace in mind. As in, when I'm trying to do all that I can, to do all that I shouldn't, yikes. Scriptures, the word of God comes to my mind, and that's where the peace comes, when there's some peace that I sure need to find. What I do is stop trying, dude, and I find a piece of the truth inside the words of the Prince of Peace, who brings all things to my remembrance. And I remember this. Yeah. A season just like this one. A year ago, 2 years ago, and I think we could go back about 25, 26 years, give or take. In the life of Evan Strong, at least, and see that life's just a big game of give and take. The summer gives and the fall takes away. The winter kind of comes around. It seems to stay. But then the springtime comes and wonders, hey, I might just give you a little bit of rain. We talk about things falling down in April. Showers, they bring flowers in the springtime, and we find out if we may make it through the winter. But we did it last year, and we did it the year before, and we did it the year before, and wow. It just seems to cycle. You know, I've got some seams to cycle. I've got a clothing company, you know, and so since I'm in this for life, that's what we do, right? We go up and we go down. And we cycle like a machine when we're sowing some things like the seeds. Because sometimes you'll give somebody some advice that you think that you might have to tell them. Well, then, you're going through something I've been through before. You might need this, a little bit of advice, and you're getting rocked around a little seasick. But what you don't know is that it'll come around again to another time where you need it. And then they say what they say. What goes around comes around. What goes up must come down. Have a nice trip and see you next fall, next time you hit the ground, when you're kneeling down. And then God will pull you up, save you from the waves you thought that you could just pave through. And hey, who made you the one in charge? Thinking that you're on top of all this thing in your life that you like to try to say that is just in the cards because you've got an idea of what you think you might, you know. Just kind of want to do. All ideas and all beliefs and all the things that we can leave aside lets us find what's really underneath as rock solid truth, the bedrock of life. When you really get grounded, when you really get humbled and stripped from all your pride, really, if you just strip away everything and find out what's inside, it's not some kind of metaphorical kind of thing. But it's the truth of all things, applies to all the human beings and every living thing on the earth that he created in 6 days, then just took a rest and sat back to say, it is good. And it is, and you see it where you see it. Don't believe it, but look at the license plates or the bumper stickers of the people who look, yeah. People like to post it around, right? Life is good. And yeah, I really should be one of those people saying that kind of thing too, right? With the attitude that I got, dude. Well, how about I come across as a different kind of person who gives us a little bit of time to stop and look at life and say, why don't we see if life can be something that can be very, very hard? But then figure out what comes from that. Because life is good doesn't mean that life just should always flow so easily and well the way that we think that it should. Otherwise, we're in jail to our own beliefs of what we think that life should be, and everything else that's not that. It's like a trap. It's like all of a sudden we didn't do something quite right. We're not living the most amazing life in the way that we think that life should actually flow. Am I right? Am I right? Am I trying to be right? Is that my goal? Is to be the one who's got all the answers in life, so I can go around and say that I was the one that told everybody else the big old tale of how life should be and it should all be well. It's in your mind and you can try to overcome it all you'd like. Yeah. Sound like a doctor or something. I majored in the sousaphone. Do you see what I mean? I'm going home and I think that I need to bring some music with me. Some music in my soul. There's some music, so I'm told, if you listen a little bit closely to the rushing water, though it seems like it might be some noise to you, but not to me. I got some nature sounds and the scenery around. A lot of things that I could drown inside of, like the mower that I don't like because it's unnatural and man-made. And man, it takes a toll on us to live in a life where we don't see all that often, and really not all the time, nature. And we're in danger of thinking that we achieved something by just covering up what's underneath. You know, we've got a lot of problems. The more that we just think that we can solve them. I say similar things, but I just think that that needs to be seen and understood the way that it is. That's one of our biggest problems as human beings, is that we think that we can solve everything. Problems are there for a reason. The problems are there like the seasons. It's the spice of life, right? Variety. You think you need some things. Variety. I thought about that as I said it. 4 syllables in the word. 4 seasons. 4 things if we incorporate ourselves with the 3 beings that created us. God, His Son, His Spirit, and the children who think that they are good enough to hear it. At all times, the good news. Because of the ladders we all climb. Because we should choose. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do when you get older? Oh, you mean like 3 minutes from now? Tomorrow? How old? Maybe I'll, get some good rest tonight. I'll be older then. What are you asking me? A lot of people got to go back to sleep. Get some rest. In other words, get arrested. Like a spark. You got a little bit of encouragement in your mind. I think sometimes we need to arrest ourselves. We need to let God arrest us. In other words, let Him just be the one who humbles us when we seem to stumble up upon something great out of our own understandings. But then we can't stand, so we fall to our knees. And then we understand things. Yeah. That's when it happens, actually. It's when we go back to sleep. And we're not in charge of our dreams. And now we're understanding. We've been charging through things in our life. Like a big old bowl in a big old china shop. And I don't mean a big old bowl. I mean a big old bowl. B-O-W-L. Yeah. Trying to knock things down one after another. Talk about it, man. You're stuck in a little alley now. And can we? How? What? Understand what I'm saying? We're just bowling things down. Woo! Talk about some wordplay. I'm back at it. Anyway, dude, I'm in the mood to not care what kind of mood I'm in when I'm moving in. I'm trying to do all that it means to be a disciple of thee, the one who sent me here. I think I just said the word disciple. To be a disciple of Jesus Christ, who created me as this human being who wouldn't have a thing without he. The one who sent me. The one who let me have an opportunity in life to have the opportunity of life. So why? Why do I walk around and just try to teach people how it is? What it really means to live a life in a guillotine? Yeah, dial the numbers. You see what I'm saying? CRA. Ended with a ZY. We're all living the life. And so we find that we got ourselves just cornered into a trap. And in fact, we set it for ourselves. Whew. We sent ourselves to hell. Whew. Am I preaching or what? I don't know. Who's to say? I'm saying some things. But who's going to take the time to listen? Well, somebody with some time, I guess, because otherwise y'all be missing opportunities in life to hear some truth out of the mouth of somebody who you might not even like, dude. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of humility for us to understand that we can be actually equal human beings. Is that okay? Is that something that we can say? Is that actually a way that this life can work? Not really. But it's the truth. The fact that we're not perfect. You know. The fact that we don't like to stop searching. When we've been given the answer. And we say, man, sir, I don't know. I think, no, I like your suggestion. Going to church, yeah, praying to a being higher than me, sure, yes, but I've got some other ideas. I mean, I'll keep it in mind. I will. We'll try it, maybe, but, welcome to the new age. What, like 14? You just grew up or something? You thought you were on top of the world until you realized you wasn't? Oh, shoot. Gull. Popped a bubble. Talk about hot-headed. You're walking in there with your gum chewing. You don't even know what you're doing. You're taking the attention of the whole room when you're just chewing your gum so loudly. And now it seems like you're the center of attention. Hey, did I mention that I'm a little bit eccentric? I understand it. I understand, kids. That's why I'm standing. I'm not a stand-in, but I'm going to stand for this for the rest of my life and just be in a holy place and be not moved, all right? So, in case you thought that I was going to stop, I'll be back with another rhyme when we hit episode 35 of Metronome Madness. It's something you can't miss. Nah, really, it's something you can't catch, though. Y'all can't catch this. I'm back to this. I'm back in it like some catnip. I just seem to be searching for the cookie jar. And I think it's okay for a lot of people to think that you're not okay. Because then it makes them question if they're the ones that are okay. Oh, what happened? So you think he's the one in the wrong when you're the one that's not quite all there either. Who is it that you say? Do you see what I mean, bro? I'll finish it for the sake of saying it. as God says it, asking us, the fallen generation of people who are taking it all to the extremes, trying to find some things and burying our Creator underneath. Who is it that ye say that I am? That's what God asks us. Because we're looking around and we're all in a bus trying to sit in the front. I'm here to stir up some waters, just like my Father, my Heavenly Father, the King of Kings, the one who gave me the life that I lead. And I live this life to lead people to He who sent me. So, thank you. Goodbye.